Back on the Prelude today, and I've got some updates for you guys. I spent last night basically doing a ton of research on these fog lights and how to wire them up. So let me just catch you up real quick. Yesterday I discovered that Honda, for the Preludes, the 88s and the 89s at least, if you have the S model, not the SI, and it did not come with fog lights from the factory, you're only gonna have the harness for the left side or the passenger side fog light, and you're gonna have to basically splice into this connector here and run 2 wires across the bumper to that fog light, so that way that one gets power. And on top of that, I did go ahead last night and just install this switch, which is super easy. You just want to take a trim tool and like pop it out, kind of like that. And then there's 2 connectors on the back here, which mine, again, actually came with the fog light connector. So that's great. It was just basically a dummy switch here. So I just plug those in, pop it back in, and everything works. The other thing I need, and if you basically take apart the carpet here down by the hood release, you'll notice this here bolted on with 2 10mm bolts. If you take those out, this whole bracket will come down. And this one here with the wires coming out on this end, as you can see there's none on this side, so this end right here is the fog light relay, and as you can tell there's nothing there. So I just spent the morning running to parts stores and stuff, and I picked up some wire. I went with 18 gauge, seems like it should do the job, to again run wire from that side over to that side. And I also picked up some more H3 bulbs. Come to find out, guys, you can take these apart. It's 2 Phillips head screws, and then the bulb sits right back there. So I just grabbed 2 new ones just in case. I did test this one and it didn't want to turn on for me. The other fog light that is kind of plugged in right now did in fact work when I just hooked it directly up to the battery. So that is good news. I'm hoping this one just needs a bulb. And then here is the part that was most difficult to find. So this is a relay for the fog lights. I believe it's a universal one, but it does mimic that one over there, so this should work out perfectly. And I spent a lot of time last night looking at relays and whether or not they were universal at all, because obviously it's an 88 Honda Prelude. Honda's not gonna have a fog light relay OEM in stock. So I basically found another relay. I grabbed it underneath the hood. I grabbed the condenser fan relay, which goes right here, which is this guy right here. So what I did was I just popped it out of here, and then I plugged it into the fog light relay just to be able to check the switch and make sure it works, and yes, it does. So with this one, I can put this back in here just like that, and we don't need that anymore. So that's all set. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the battery because we'll be doing some more electrical work right now. Before I get ahead of myself, usually I would install the lights first, make sure everything works wired up, but just with the way this is all working together, what I want to do actually first is take the headlights apart, give them a really good cleaning both on the lenses, and then also I'm just going to go ahead and replace the bulbs while I have them out. May as well, even though that one is working, this one might not be working. I'm just going to replace them anyways. And then once I get them cleaned up, what I plan to do is splice the wiring from there over to there. But oh, let's go ahead and just knock out the relay real quick, because that is easy, and we can just grab this here. Just in case, I guess, if you guys want like this part number, I'm not sure if that is the part number. Yeah, I don't know if I can get you guys the part number, so that's the best I can do. I picked this up from Consumer Auto Parts. So if we go back to the driver's side, this should plug and play right here into, again, this one. So just go to the side where all the wires are coming out and plug that boy in. This is really hard to do with one hand. Now that relay is seated on there correctly, it should work. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave this out and not bolt it back up yet until we get the fog lights wired, so that way I can just test everything before, and I don't have to go and reinstall or uninstall stuff. Another update, new bulbs are in, and I just wiped down the lenses. I'm gonna just give them a good wash once they're in there. I mean, it's glass, so you can't really do too much as far as restoring these, opposed to plastic where you could literally shave off a lot of the oxidation on the top. This one I'm just going to hit with rubbing alcohol, maybe some acetone, try and clean it up a little bit. But the new bulbs are in there and seated correctly. So next thing I need to do is basically take this wire, and I'm going to go ahead and take 2 pieces. I'm going to pull this back here and splice into this blue and red wire, and then also into this brown wire, and run a wire behind the bumper all the way over to this fog light. progress update. I've gone ahead and basically disconnected the factory harness or plug for the passenger side, and if you guys look right there, you'll see those two exposed wires ready to be spliced, and I did the same thing on this end. So what I plan to do is, again, take two of these wires. I'm going to cut two lengths that are long enough to go from here over to that fog light there, and I'm basically going to splice it into that, get this side reconnected again, and then instead of actually using this factory harness here, because the male adapter that was sent to me doesn't have the little metal pins in it, so there's really no way for me to actually adhere wires into this. Sorry, it's out of focus, but what I'm going to do is actually just splice right into this past the connector, so that way it's just basically hardwired. I don't know if that's the right term, but that's what I'm gonna do. Just got my electrician on, and I successfully tapped into those wires right there. You can see the orange caps. I'm gonna go ahead and take some electrical tape. Whoa, super washed out. I'm gonna go ahead and take some electrical tape afterwards, after I know that they turn on and work, and just clean this all up. But if you look down here, you can see the two wires come across and then out the little fog light hole here. And I've marked with black tape the negative, and this will be the positive. So just basically gonna match it up here. I'm gonna cut this off all the way and just directly splice these into it. Okay guys, everything is wired up. I haven't put it all back together or added electrical tape yet. I just wanted to get it all plugged in. That side is plugged in. So I think, let me just kind of go over my thoughts here. So I got everything wired to that side. I've got the old relay put back in, not that that really matters. We put the new relay in over here. So that is good to go. I got the switch put in. I think we're ready. I think all I have to do, oh, and I put new bulbs in. So I guess let's go ahead and put the negative terminal back on there. And I guess moment of truth, let's turn the headlights on and then turn the fog lights on and see if they work. Fingers crossed, bros. When I clicked the switch, I heard the relay go, so let's take a look. Nothing. Maybe I have it on the off setting, I'm not sure. I'm still learning as I go here. Maybe like that. Well, that's not right. So troubleshooting, I just checked the fuse for the fog lights, and sure enough, I don't even know if the camera will pick that up, but it's blown. Take my word for it. It's toast. I checked it yesterday and it was good. So that means somewhere along the lines I popped the fuse when I was installing these, and I'm not really sure how, because I had a battery disconnected every time I was doing wiring, but who knows, maybe it shorted somewhere. I got a new 15 amp fuse. I'm gonna go ahead and plug that in, try it again. The only thing I'm thinking is the new bulbs I got for these they are H3s, but they're 100 watt instead of 50 watt. So I'd figured they'd be a little bit brighter, but I'm wondering if there's just a power issue, not enough power to turn on the 100 watt, and that's why it's popping the fuse. So if this doesn't work, I'm going to put at least the one old bulb that I know was working back in to test it out. Just in case you guys are wondering, it's this last one on the bottom row, this 15 amp fuse right there. So I guess let's go ahead and try this one more time. I'm gonna go ahead and put the fog lamp back in. I guess let's go ahead and put the negative back on. Hopefully we didn't just pop the fuse. With the headlights on, I should be able to turn these on here, and if the fuse didn't blow, they should be turned on, which they're not. So I guess let's go ahead and disconnect the battery one more time. Actually, first shut everything off, and let's check this fuse again, see if it blew on me. Sure enough, guys, blew this fuse too. So I think that means that the issue is with, I'm hoping, just the bulbs. I think the bulbs that I put in are too high of a wattage. So I'm gonna go ahead and disassemble that one and try this again, I guess, and see if it turns on. I just installed my last 15 amp fuse, and I put the regular bulb that I believe was working back in there. I disconnected this one because that one still has the extra high wattage bulb. So let's just hope that it doesn't blow this fuse, otherwise I gotta go to the parts store and grab some more 15 amps. Money, buddy. And they turn on, look at that. So what that means basically is the bulbs that I have in these are just too high wattage and it's blowing the fuse. So I'm gonna revert back to the old bulbs for now. at least I know it works. I just went and grabbed the other old bulb. I believe this one is actually burnt out. It doesn't look burnt out, but when I checked it before, it wasn't working. So one fog light may not work, and I may need to go get new bulbs that are the correct wattage, but at least here's a first look with it actually working. This is so sick. So I haven't really put everything back together, but it'll sit in there just like that. It's very yellow compared to the LEDs. So there is a yellow filament or a yellow kind of encasing that gives it that color, which can be removed. Just a heads up, I'm gonna rock the OEM look for a little bit, at least until I find some LEDs that will work for this. But yeah, let's go ahead and put the old bulb back in that one, get it rewired, and hopefully finish up this project. All right, so I rewired everything. I put the old bulb back in that one, and unfortunately that doesn't illuminate, so I think that bulb is dead. And I'm gonna have to go back out and get a new one, but I think just for troubleshooting purposes, so at least I know this wiring is good and I can put the bumper back together, I'm gonna put that bulb into that one, and swap it vice versa, and then see if this one turns on. I just swapped the lights, and now that one has the good original bulb. That one has what I believe to be the burnt out one. So if I go ahead and pop the negative terminal back on here, should be able to go turn on the headlights and the fog lights. And now, if I'm correct, the left one should be illuminated. Yes. So basically what that means is the wiring is good for the driver's side, and it's just the bulb that is bad. So that's great news. This side works too. My wiring is all set. Now I just need to grab some electrical tape, clean everything up, get this bumper put back together, get the interior put back together, and then make a parts run to go grab a new bulb. So the last piece to the puzzle was finding bolts that are gonna work to fit these brackets and the threading that goes onto the chassis itself where this mounts. And I've been going through just a whole bunch of bolt sizes, and sure enough, actually some other Prelude bolts. I don't even know where I had pulled these off initially, but I kept them. And I know they're Prelude bolts because they have that same ugly blue paint from the last owner all over them. But I just checked them out, and they do work. So just a good tip there, guys. Keep all your bolts, even if you don't know or plan to use them, or like I was gonna say, don't know where they go. Just keep them in case you do figure it out or have a use in another way for them. Just finished up the install. Prelude looks so much better. Check it out, guys. With both of the fog lights in, I'm really happy with how that came out. It just makes the whole thing look like it's straight off the lot. It's, yes, very OEM plus, but my goal was to get all the missing bits and pieces for this thing. So as I was saying in the last video, yes, the fog lights are really rare and hard to find, and I guess the next, or the true last piece that I need is going to be my clock cover there, which most Preludes, most third gens already have those gone. Occasionally you can find one at a pick and pull. I've only found one third gen Prelude at a pick and pull so far since I've owned it, and that one did not have the clock cover. So I'm still hunting, but I'm really happy with these fog lights. Thank you again, Ricardo, for sending these out. So I guess now all that's left to do is head to the auto parts store again and pick up a couple. I'm just gonna replace them both, but with the proper wattage, new bulbs for the fog lights. Then we're all set. I truly hope this is the last time I have to go here. I just picked up two H3 bulbs that are just the regular H3. So the ones I got before, I thought were gonna be brighter, which they probably would be, but they were just too much power. And they were the H3 something. They were 100 watts, and I think, yeah, these are 55 watt. So this should work in the car now. I'm gonna go back home and get these installed. Little Dave, why are you looking all sad over there? Alright guys, so I've got the bulbs here. I pretty much just need to use a 12 mil, yep. So here they are. I just need to use a 12 mil to get that bolt back out on both of the fog lights, and then I gotta disassemble the back of them again, swap them out, and I'll catch up with you guys when this thing is ready to turn on, and hopefully both fog lights finally work. I just finished up the entire install. I replaced the bulbs, put everything back together. Dave, thank you for the extra hand. I guess this is it, guys. This is the moment of truth. This is what you've all been waiting for. Both fog lights coming on. You want to do it? Yeah. Give them the honors.
Here we go, boys and girls.
So the headlights should come on.
Headlights are on.
Now the fog lights.
Fog lights are on, baby.
On?
Both on.
Yes. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah,
that
boy.
looks so good. OEM fog light install is complete.
Kind of bright, but
yeah, they're really not all that bright, and I haven't really messed with the aim of them yet, but I'm pretty much just gonna leave them as is for now, and I'm eventually gonna find some LEDs that will work for this, and then probably even take out that yellow filament so that way they match the headlights. But guys, Prelude is that much closer to OEM, and I think that with the fog lights, it really makes the front lip look so sick. It kind of just makes the whole bumper look a lot bigger. So really happy with it. Install is complete. Thank you guys so much, as always, for rocking with me on these videos. This had to have been a two-part series just because there was so much work that had to go into getting these to fit and work properly. So thank you guys for your patience. I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, keep elevating, and peace out.